Alright, well, let's get right into it. Well, this is just a stream, and I'm sure no one's gonna watch, but that's fine. And here we are. The first thing, just to get you guys up to date a bit, is that I'm creating a tower defense plugin where, for Minecraft, where inside of a GUI, you have this grid, right? And inside this grid, let's say there are enemies and you can just kill them with it's like a tower defense game, but inside a GUI. That's pretty much what it is. But yeah. Anyways, what I was doing, I was actually creating the tower, a little class for the tower. I already have this right here, this stuff right here, this stuff and stuff. Everyone loves stuff. So here we have the T name, damage, range, and rate of fire. And T name means tower name, damage, and range. Okay, so let's get right on to the rest of this stuff. Remember Tower Manager. Now this thing we need to create, I believe it was... We need to make the towers, like custom towers. So instead of the GUI, instead of just using random blocks, I kind of want to use heads for each specific tower, because the heads would be a little more better. That's the only way to actually explain it. Let's see, what would you call this? I don't know. Read YML? Nah, read YML file? That's probably the worst name in all time, but that's fine. Let's see, let's get into it a bit more. Okay, it's actually Tower Manager. Now for just Tower Manager, we kind of want the tower themselves as well, so let's get a hash map. So a string and then a tower. Let's call this tower. Let's see. Go leave that for now, and let's create an enemies class. We'll call this just an enemy. And of course we'll need the tower defense plugin. I really don't like using static, just because I just don't like using it. So let's get a few things. Let's get health, private. Let's get the health. Let's see what else. After health, let's make an integer. Private. Integer will be health. Let's see what else should we do. I think we need a player profile. I think it's called. I don't know. Let me go to my other plugin. It's been a while since I dealt with player heads, so I think it's my more crops plugin. Let's go to this one. Heads, return crop head. Let's see here. That's not it. We need... Was it this one? That's not it. Was this one? That's not it. Where did I put it? I think it is this. Return crop head. I guess this is the one. But no, that can't be it, because there's a little bit more to this. Let's go actually to the very beginning. More crops, successfully. Cache crops. I think this is the one. Nope, that's not it. Let's see. Because I know we need a player head, but I'm not sure. Texture, let's get player profiles. Oh. Okay, because we need a player profile. I know we need that. And a texture int. I think it's a link. Oh, whatever. All we need is we need a player profile, so let's go get that as well. So we need a private player profile, player profile. And then we need the texture for it, I believe. So go private string. Let's go texture. What else? What do we need? Private health texture. No, it's fine. Okay, let's create the rest of the stuff here. Okay, so we're gonna have a integer of health, player profile, player profile, and you're only string it with the texture name. To texture. So after that, we're gonna create an enemy manager. Enemy manager. I'm gonna call this, I don't know, tower defense plugin. We still need to do that constructor. Tower defense plugin. Enemy manager, and then now we're going to need a few things. We're going to need another hash map here, so public hash map, and then we're going to say string, and then enemy, and then we'll call this just enemy. No, enemy, like a new hash map of string and enemy. Okay, so now we're going to need to create a couple methods here. So we can go public int get health, return this dot health. And then we're going to need a couple setters. So public set health, public void set health, oops. And we're going to need an integer of, let's just say health. So this dot health is equal to health. And we're going to need a public void set texture, string texture. This dot texture is equal to texture, and public void, so we set health, and then we need the player profile, so public void set player profile, player profile, player profile. This dot player profile is a player profile. There we go. So because we need that head for the player profile. Okay, so now we need, I believe it was the display name. So we actually display name as a private string display name. And then we're going to go string display name. I'm saying this dot display name is equal to display name. And then we're going to create some more methods for that as well. So then public string public string get display name, return this dot display name. Then we're going to have public string set display name, and then we're going to do this dot display name is equal to chat color dot translate, and then string display name, because that's going to change the display name. We aren't returning anything, so we just want a void for it. And I think the same goes for the tower here. We need, okay, we have the name, but we need to create new facets for this as well. So public int get damage, return this dot, oh my icon, return this dot damage, public int range, this dot range, or get range actually I should say, then return this dot range, and public integer get rate of fire, okay, return this dot rof, public string t name, go get tower name, and then return this dot t name. We're going to need a couple setters as well. So public int set damage, and then we're going to go with public void set damage. So this dot damage is equal to damage, and then public void set range is equal to this. Range, then return this star range. There we go. Oh my god, I keep getting return. Why am I so tired right now? The start range is equal to range. Oops. You have the rate of fire, to set damage, set range, set rate of fire. Then we need the set display name. So public void set tower name. Okay, so we need a tower name, and then we also need a level and a display name. So t name. So this t name is equal to t. So how this is actually going to work is we're going to have two different types of names, like a name that specifies a tower, and then we're also going to get a few other things, which I kind of forgot. I'll figure them out sometime. So then we need a private string display name. We're just going to need a string of display name. This dot display name is equal to display name, public string get display name. Display name. There we go. Because now we set the display name, we get the display name, we get the rate of fire. So what else do we need? We also need the player profile for it. I completely forgot about that. So we need private player profile, player profile. And we're gonna go with public player profile. Oops, public. I was right. Oops, what am I doing? Player profile, profile. Get player profile. We're gonna say return this dot player profile. Then we're saying set the player profile again. This is so tedious. What the hell? Like, actually, this makes me want to jump off a cliff. Player profile, and then we got this dot player profile is equal to player profile. Oh my god. Oh, oops, not public void. Gotta just take a sip of my water. Ah, that tastes like crap. Okay, so we have the towers and we have the enemy. Now we have the tower manager. And we need to read YML file. So okay, so let's go into config for a second here. We have the database username, database user, database password. And then let's get a towers. Let's get a tower name. So we've got towers. Or should we create it in-game instead? Because then I would need to connect to this MySQL database. And then no matter what, it still needs to set stuff up there. So I think I'll rather just make it in-game. So instead of read YML, it would read the database instead. Or read the MySQL database instead. Okay, I think that makes it, and the rest can be done in-game. So all the towers and last goodies can be done in-game, and then, yeah, I think that's better. But then we also need a messages.yml. Do we need a messages.yml? Do we? I think we do, but I don't really want to use it. I think we need it with messages.yml. So we can create other, and then let's do a messages. Oh my god. I think it's general file. I'm gonna say messages.yml. Oh my god, what's happening? Oops, file. Next. And this will be called messages.yml. There we go. You have our nice messages. This will be done later, obviously. And I'm also going to need a grid, like the playtime. So dot playing a game, or dot game. Let's call it dot game instead. So dot game will be our in-game name. So we're going to call this start game. I'm going to call this end game. And we're going to call this middle of game, not middle of game. Let's just say, let's call it something else a bit better. How about in-grid? I think in-grid is a bit better. Not in-grid. In-grid sounds stupid. I wish somebody was here to actually to help me think of a name, because I sure as hell don't know one. Would chat like to help me? Even though I see absolutely nothing there. This is lovely. Like, actually. Let's just go to these chats. Is anyone even watching this? Let's see. Oh my god, I'm watching it. I'm so happy. Okay, back to the coding thing. Anyways, let's see. We're gonna have a end game. End game, start game. They also need something else, something like with a little bit of beef, like a bit of juice in it. How about? I just call it game. Game. End game, start game, game. No, that sounds bad. I don't like that. There's something else instead. How about? Instead of game, how about in game? But can't go wrong with that one. That one sounds amazing. So once again, let's create some more constructors for it. Tower defense plugin. And let's go with. I don't feel like typing it out. Let's just highlight that, import it in here. I'll just copy this, throw it here, 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 save, save. Just set it up so this dot plugin is equal to plugin, and then music stopped. Why did the music stop? Let's see. Oh, it's still going. It's just not making any sound. It is now making sound. It is confirmed. Alright, okay, so this is done. This is not done. So this dot plugin is actually equal to plugin. And then start game is stupid. No, it's not. Okay, it's fine. Okay, these three are done. So now we need something called start game. So we're going to do public void start game. And then we're going to go to end game and let's go with public void start game. No, that's end game. End game. This would be like the rewards. Like commands that would execute. Get GUI, nope. I guess we don't need GUI. I guess I do need GUI, now thinking about it. Class open GUI. Now we're going to player data. We're going to need a couple of things. We're going to need a private integer state? No, that depends. What type of GUI would they be in? Maybe make it a string. It'll be easier for me. Anyways, a string. And then we're going to need, let's call it GUI screen. This is going to be very important. This is going to tell what screen the player is in. So like if they're in end game, or they ended, or if they're in the menu themselves. That's pretty important. So we're going to keep it like that. Okay, so now we're going to need a string GUI screen. This .GUI screen is equal to GUI screen. And then public string get screen. And of course we're gonna, my chords everywhere. And then return this .GUI screen. Alright, public string set screen. Let's call this a GUI screen. Set GUI screen. So public void set GUI screen will be string GUI screen. This GUI screen is equal to GUI screen. There we go. I think that's pretty good so far. And now we're also going to need, we have a player data, but we're also going to need using player names, I think we'll use instead. Okay, so we're going to have the player data, And then we're also going to have a string, like a hash map of the player's name with the player data inside of it. So we're going to call this a new class. We're going to call this player data, and then we'll call this manager. Now, this is actually going to deal with a lot. So we're going to call this tower. Can I just control V it? Oh, I can. Awesome. This dot plugin is equal to plugin. And we're going to need a hash map. So we're going to go with public hash map string, and then player data, and then we'll call this players data. Let's get the hash map string player data. I'm an idiot, aren't I? Oh, I forgot the new. Let's go to the new hash map. There we go. And now we are going to need something else in the player data, which pretty much means unlocked levels. So private integer unlocked levels. Get my think about it for a second. So we're gonna start at level 1, then get to level 3 and level 4. Unlocked levels. We're gonna set this to nothing. Then unlocked levels. Oh wait, then we're gonna need a private integer, and we're also gonna need an ID for the player. So we're gonna call this player ID. Now, player ID will be for the MySQL, the MySQL. This unlocked levels. We're going to integer unlocked levels, and then we're going to integer. We're just going to need a player ID. So we're going to need this dot unlocked levels equal to unlocked levels, and then this dot player ID is equal to player ID. Okay, now it's gonna public integer get unlocked levels, and this will just be return unlocked levels. So pretty much what unlocked levels will be, it would just be like a 1 to like I'll say 100, and that's pretty much what unlocked levels will be. Like if it was 50, then 50 and below is all unlocked. Or unlocked, yes, I did say that right. Oh my god, I feel like I need crack. I probably shouldn't say that though, but I never had it, so no one knows. Not like anyone's gonna watch it this far anyways. Public void, we're gonna set, what was it doing again? Alright. We're gonna get something else, so public int player ID. Get player ID. Then I'll return this dot player ID. And we're going to need a couple more set methods. We're going to set public void set unlocked levels is going to be integer of unlocked levels. This dot unlocked. I need a public void set player ID as integer player ID, and with this dot player ID is equal to player ID. And then we're also gonna need something else called. We're actually gonna also need an array list as well. Now this array list will be like the towers that the player has equipped. So we're gonna have a private array list of tower, and we're gonna say players loadout is equal to new array list of tower. Oh, we'll try to loadout instead. And then we're gonna have an array list of tower. Call this loadout. And we'll have this dot loadout is equal to loadout. Okay, so then we're also gonna need public array list of tower get loadout. Then we're gonna call this, oh my god, not new array list. I'm so tired right now. What am I doing? Get loadout. And then we'll return this dot loadout. We're also gonna need to set the loadout, so we're gonna do a public void set loadout. Do array list of, let's say, tower, and then loadout. And this dot loadout is equal to loadout. All I keep saying is loadout this, loadout that, loadout. I swear to God, I'm becoming a loadout. Let out. What even let out? What is let out? Is let out like a let out? Loadout? What am I even saying anymore? I don't even know. Okay, see, what else am I doing? I am probably just going to move the loadout, and then we're also gonna need the enemy manager. We need the events, so we're gonna collapse everything for now. Not collapse, uncollapse it. Okay, new package. I want to call this dot events. And I'm also gonna need a class, and we're gonna need a join event, and we're also gonna need a player click event. And then we're also gonna need a leave event. So in each one, we're gonna implement a listener. So I'm gonna do implements listener. And each and every one of them. And of course, we're also gonna have to have that beautiful constructor as well. This dot plugin is equal to plugin. Then we're just gonna do this. We're gonna do the same thing again and again and again. Oh, why is this so repetitive? Is this really what I want to do for the rest of my life? Just this? I guess every job is kind of repetitive. I guess this is kind of different in a way because you're kind of doing different things at the same time. I don't even know anymore. What am I saying? I don't know. Alright, so we're going to plugin, and then we're going to leave. We're going to have to join. I'm going to set it again, so this dot plugin is equal to plugin. Plugin is equal to plugin. So now we need an event handler for each one. So we're going to type at event handler, and then public void on join, and I think it's called player login event. And of course we're going to ignore cancel. This is equal to true. Okay, and on join, that's that. And we're going to need a couple more events here. So on leave, so at event handler, public void on leave. Then we're going to have we're just going to need was it a player leave event? Or was it a player log out event? I don't even remember. Let's see. Nope, it's called player log out. It was a player quit event. I think it was player quit actually. It was player quit, okay. See, I was right. Imagine you can cancel this. You can't. You can't cancel it. Oh, that's a shame. Just trap players in your server all the time. Cancel the leave event. Okay, so now we're gonna do a. That's done, and we're gonna player click event as well, which I think is just called. This is pretty important. This is gonna tell with the player what's selected and what's not selected. So we're gonna have a public void on interact. On GUI interact, I mean. I completely forgot what this was called. Was it GUI enter GUI player interact event E? Let me see if this was the one. E.get slots. No, that's not it. Okay, let me go to my other plugins. I know my absolute. I think this one. My. Oh my god, this is so bad. Good GUI. I think is this it? Events. GUI event. Oh my god, it's so bad. Okay, it's called inventory click. Oh, this is the premium version. That's why I stopped making the premium version. So it's called inventory click event. That makes sense now. Not thinking about it. Inventory click event. Come on. There we go. Because now we have this down. This done. With this and this, let's see. We have MySQL, with the player data, with the towers, with the YML. Okay, let's define what the main command will be. The main command will be. Will probably just be tower. Or TD. Tower or TD? I think. Tower defense. TD tower. I think these three are pretty good for now. So let's add those into the commands. So let's say if label dot equals in our case TD or I'll call return false. I'm gonna copy this a few times. So 1, 2, 3, and then backspace a few times. I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. I hope not. So it equals TD tower defense. Oops, tower defense. And I think it was just tower was the last one. If it doesn't equal any of these, then it's going to return. However, if it does equal them, then we're also going to need a couple things. So if, then we're also going to need a couple of sub-arguments as well. So if args, oops, if args dot length is, I think it's less than 0, is equal to 0, then we're gonna return, I think, just to return false, and we're gonna need to send a message of layer, so send valid arguments. And then we're also gonna need to tell what the second thing is, so if it's less than 1, so less than 1 instead. Okay, so we also need to figure out what type of commands we're actually going to use here. So I think we're going to have, for example, td/td, and then we're going to say a GUI. I think td GUI is probably the best, and then we can have td and then admin. I think these two will be the main commands, because the admin will pop up another GUI that has all this configuration options. And then the GUI will have all the player options, like the loadout, the different towers. I think that will be good. Although I need Vault as well, not thinking about it. But will I need Vault? No, I think something else is better. You know, what if this plugin actually like not kill stuff, like it's, how do I say this? like he uses his own in-game currency. Not currency, how about, let me think. So every time you kill like an enemy, you get like 3 or 2 different type of coins, and then you can maybe upgrade these towers with these in-game coins. I think that sounds fair. And then we're gonna have if args 0 dot equals ignore case, and then I think it was GUI. Yes, GUI. And this was admin. And after GUI, we're gonna check if the player has permission for it. So we're gonna check if sender dot has. Oh, we need to check if it's a player or not first. So if sender instance of player. Pretty much if they're not a player, we're going to return it and say, hey, you're not a player. So we're going to say sender.sendMessage player command only. And then we're just going to return as false. If sender.has permission for, let's call this tower defense.gui. If they don't have permission, tower defense.admin. I'm going to say return false. Return false. Okay, and then obviously we're going to need to send no perm. Send no perm, and then over at the very end here we can have a send invalid arguments. Okay, so let's give the messages. So we're gonna have a few more things now. We're gonna also gonna need a message system. Not thinking about it. So we're going to have a package dot I'm going to think how this works actually. Dot message. Message manager. Public void, and we'll call it get message. Actually, get a string, and we'll call this get message. And it's going to have another string inside of it, and we'll call this str. And we're going to have this return as null for now. And we'll say return message from config. Then we'll go into our Yml Manager, and we're going to have another file, and we're going to call this file message. And we're gonna need one more file, one more YML configuration. So we're gonna call this message file, and then we're gonna call this message YML. And then what's gonna happen is we are going to kind of copy everything and just kind of as long as everything is copied, everything will be fine. Then we're also going to need a message YML as you go to YML configuration .load configuration, and then we're going to have message YML. So the first off, what we're going to need is we are going to put messages.yml. Inside our messages, we're going to need a few things. We have the no perm equals @6 or and6 and equals 4. No permission invalid arguments. I should just call this INV and then args. We'll call this invalid arguments. So with no permission, invalid arguments, and I think that's all pretty much what we need. So we'll go back into the message manager here. It's not really a message manager, it's more like utility. So then we'll return chat color.translate colors, and then we're gonna return something from the Yml manager. So we're gonna actually need to create the Yml manager, which we already have actually. So we're gonna go plugin.yml. Oops, plugin.ym. It's not here. Why isn't it showing? Guess that will show. Oh, I need to create the stupid class. I'm such an idiot. No, I don't need to create it. Oh my god. I'm gonna end the stream soon. So we're gonna have plugin.yml manager. Oh, I forgot to put public. Oops, public. And public. I spell this public. Now there we go. Now it'll be better. Public.yml manager dot get message yml dot get string, and then we're gonna have str. And this will get us our message all nice and colorful. So we'll go back to our commands and let's do it. So we're gonna say no, we need to create the manager first. Public message manager and message manager is equal to new message manager. And then we're going to do sender.send message. Let me go plugin.message manager dot get message, and that would be invalid args. No perm, and then no perm. Okay, so now for the GUI, we can say open GUI, the end game, start game, and obviously we're gonna have the tower defense plugin, tower defense plugin. Public. Oh, obviously it has no effect. There we go. And then we got public void open GUI. We've got player P, and then all the goodies will happen here. Okay, let's see. Apparently there's an error in here. Well, not anymore. Advanced enemies. Okay, so now we're gonna need our Yml Manager. Enemy Manager. Tower Manager and read YML file. Enemy Manager. And we're just gonna need a read YML file. Public void. Read YML file. Let's see what else we need. We also need more MySQL stuff, so. And then we're also going to need to add a new player, so we're going to have a class. This is going to be called the MySQL Player Manager. Oh, I've got the R at the end. Tower defense plugin, and then we're gonna have. Of course, we're gonna have it again here. And then we're gonna have this dot plugin is equal to plugin. And then what we're gonna have, we're gonna public void. We're gonna get. Not we're gonna get players or anything. Actually, you know what? We're gonna call it a day. Well, if you actually watched this, well, thank you guys for watching. As I can see, the live chat is just booming up right now with a solid 0 messages. Thank you very much. Well, anyways, guys, well, have a good one, and I shall see you maybe sometime. Is this not working? Oh, you will not be able